This is the rhythm channel with humbuckers. On 4. Okay, let's switch to the dirty channel. It's supposed to be voiced like a tweed when you start. 2.5. I don't know if you can tell that on the video, but it's a lot louder. The volume on the rhythm channel is 4, volume on the lead channel is 2.5. Lead channel's already louder. Got no reverb on, by the way. So this is great for what I suppose you'd call a bit of a push tweed sound. Again, go back to the cling. So mid-bite's on 0. So mid-bite does stuff all the way through. Scratchiness. So still a pretty good crunch sound. I mean, I think what it's doing is bringing the mids up. I can't really tell, to be honest. I just know it sounds good. Let's have a go with the tone control. All the way over to the left. With the tone, let's just go to the middle. Now this actually gets totally insane if the mid-bite goes to the right. There's two things that happen. One, so let's go about to 2 o'clock, so number 7 on the clock. I'm still on 3 on the volume. give us a bit of volume. So if I go up to about 6, I'm a bit scared of the beastie now. If you take the mid-bite, if you go from 8 to 9, there's a massive increase. Whoa! Massive increase in sustain. Feedback. Absolute caged monster. We're on 6 on the volume. I'm too scared to turn it up anymore because it's a raging beast. So there you have it. I'm going to go have a quick go on the Telecaster, just to give you an idea of the telly in there. Okay. Okay, so this is neck pickup. attenuator. All of this has been done in full volume, and I have to say, this is my experience. I'm going to turn it down to about half. Everything I've played so far, you couldn't really play if you had any neighbours. I've got earplugs in, otherwise I would be deaf. So let's take the earplugs out. That was the clean channel, just channels. So now I'm at the volume probably of a loud TV. Whereas previously I was at a pretty serious volume. Honestly, I think it doesn't sound as good with the attenuator on, and I think the reason it doesn't sound as good is there's so much of the sound is coming from the cabinet and the speaker breakup. So much of the great sound is coming from the speaker and the cabinet breakup that it's just not the same. I mean, I think you're getting so much resonance from that wooden cabinet at the volumes, and also things. Apparently your ear naturally compresses sound at higher volumes, so so you still sound that beautiful still sound that nice tube distortion. You still get the. It can go really low. On the lowest or maximum setting, now I can actually talk over my guitar. In fact, my unplugged guitar is now louder than the amp. So actually, there's almost no point. It's a bit. Not quite as good. That's a bit louder. I tried to play this late at night with everybody else in bed in the house, and I think the lead channel is a tiny bit too loud. I don't know if you can hear it even on there, because you can probably hear the guitar more than the amp. There are 6 settings. Let's go up one setting. For one bit more noise. That's right, that's the problem. Now that's just a bit too loud, whereas the previous was too quiet. If I go back to the clean, that's probably alright, because that's quieter than an acoustic guitar. But that's louder. I've got that on 4. Obviously I can turn the volume down. But it doesn't do much. Just like if I turn the volume up. Okay, we've finally got to a volume level, but of course I can't drive the tubes with that distortion. I'd say the clean channel is more controllable volume-wise. I don't know if you can hear the difference. You probably can't. All the compression on the camera, but when I go down to 2.5 on the volume on the clean side, on the rhythm side, there's a definite drop in volume. How loud does this thing go? Well, overall, I have practiced in a small band. It's a small room, so everything seems really loud, and I have to put the attenuator on in the rehearsal room. The drummer is 6 foot tall with big muscles, and he hits the drums really hard, and this thing could easily knock him out if I wanted to. Now you've heard some sounds. I'm just about to go through, I've already recorded it, going through all the hardware, which is the most boring part of the video. But if you like detail, it's there for you. So what are my conclusions about this amp? And actually, obviously my conclusion is that I really like it because I bought it. I think it's fantastic. But what are the reasons? First of all, it's loud enough to gig with and play out. It's got that fantastic Fender blackface clean. It's got the Marshall style dirty tones. And to be honest with you, the kind of music I like starts in about 1950 and ends in about 1980. So, well, the kind of guitar music I like anyway. So, this covers all those bases. It isn't too big and it isn't too heavy. It's not too big to have around the house, and it's not too heavy to get in the back of the car and walk around with, which is exactly what I like. It looks nice. It looks classy. It doesn't look like a Roland Cube or something like that. The hand wiring, well, to be honest, I think the only benefit of that is easy maintenance in the future. So, yes, I've got high hopes that this is going to last 20 or 30 years. The reverb sounds fantastic. The tremolo sounds fantastic. I haven't demoed any pedals with this, but because the front end doesn't really overdrive, it means it's great for putting pedals through. Really good for putting pedals through, because if you up the boost going into it, it doesn't really start distorting. Not sure what else I can say. I do think it's really good, and I think if you are considering it, you should definitely try it, because although I hope to have given you a sample of the sounds, I do think when you place it next to the 2 Rock and the Swart AST and the Car Rambler and some of those other amps you're going to be looking at, this actually, to me, sounds better. And that's probably the #1 reason to buy the amp, the #1 reason why it's satisfying to play. And you probably saw in the video there were times where I was just enjoying myself, admittedly with some bad playing. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and thank you very much for watching. Okay, here's the front panel. As you can see, we've got just one input on there. Channel switching is handled through the switch and a foot switch, which I'll come to in a moment. So first knobs on the left cover the lead channel, and you can see these are really nice vintage looking knobs, chicken head knobs. Volume control, 1 tone on the lead channel, which may or may not put you off. I did think about that. And then this very unusual control called mid-byte, as you can see on there. This is a very interesting feature because it's not like a traditional gain control. It just changes the way the tone works, and basically shifts to what sounds like a gainier tone. It's quite small differences on this dial can make a big difference in sound, and we'll come back to that in a second. Straight switch between the lead and the rhythm channels, clean channel. Then we come on to rhythm channel. This has got, again, volume, treble, bass. Reverb control, this one affects both channels, so you get reverb on both channels, but when you switch to the lead channel, there's slightly less reverb. So obviously with a gainier sound, you generally prefer less reverb. There's still some there, and again we'll have a little listen to that in a minute. And then the tremolo control. Well, 2 controls as standard on these things, speed and depth. It's a bias type tremolo. Personally, I think it's very smooth, very sweet sounding. You can be the judge of that when we hear it. We've got 1 power switch. Sorry, 1 power light, and there you go. Tone King Imperial 20th anniversary. This one is the black and cream.
They do it in a couple of different colours. I think this is the most sensible colour. Having said that, I think this cream colour looks really classy, and the front grille cloth, super classy. You get that 50s television look, and look, there you go, little corners, metal corners. The amp doesn't come with a cover. I had a custom one made. It's over there. Which is a slight shame it doesn't come with a cover. It's always nice to feel like these things are kept just right. Handle, nice and sturdy handle on top, leather, again very classy looking. Round the back, what do we find? Standard power fuse, power on and a standby switch. Now, because this amp is cathode bias, you do actually need to warm up on a lot of amps. So nice sturdy switch, power goes on. I've got to wait a minute now while the valve heaters warm up before actually putting it in operate. That's not true of all amps that have got standby switches. You don't always need to use it, but in this one you do. Socket for the foot switch. Foot switch is actually improved from the original Imperial. So here's a foot switch. Nice sturdy thing. 4 rubber feet on the bottom. And it's not doing it at the moment because it's not on. It's still not doing it at the moment. I've got no power. The difference with this one is it has little LED lights. Maybe when I've actually plugged it into the mains, I'll be able to demo the lights. Obviously, channel switching on one, tremolo on and off on the other. I think my Fender amp has a reverb on and off. What can you do? There's a choice of these things. Speaker cable. This one takes an 8 ohm speaker, and it is in fact what's considered an upgraded speaker from the standard Imperial. It's a G12M Celestian Creamback. Now this is the one in all the forums online where guitar nerds are. They say that this is an upgrade and is a slightly smoother sound than the original style speaker. The couple of things that I would say, because I don't really have the original one to compare, is it's a different type of magnet, so it makes the whole thing slightly heavier. Previously, the Imperial was well known for being very light to pick up. I'll come back to the whole weight in a second. That's one thing. Secondly, it's got slightly less sensitivity. This one is a 97 dB sensitivity. I think the other one was probably more than 100. It was well known, this amp, for being very, very loud. It is still very, very loud, but I suspect not quite as loud as it used to be. And you can see there, reverb tank, 2-spring reverb tank in the bottom. And then last of all on the back is probably one of the most important items on here, which is the attenuator. So all of you who are watching this video know exactly what an attenuator does, but just for the one person who doesn't, it basically allows you to turn up the volume on the front panel and for less volume to come out of the speaker. It's like a muffler, stopping the speaker in simple terms. Well, obviously I will demonstrate this working later on. I don't think if you're a home player like me who does a little bit of playing with friends, you could own this amp without having the attenuator on it. I did have a look at the Sky King, and that has a separate attenuator for both channels, and I do think that's significantly better, because in a band setting the single attenuator is a little bit awkward to work with, and hopefully I can explain that later. Sky King has 2 attenuators. The reason I ruled out the Sky King is it's very, very heavy, and physically it's larger. For those two reasons, I ruled it out. There we have it. Overall, very nicely made. You wouldn't expect anything else from a builder of this reputation. The weight of it, I said I was going to come back to. Well, of course I can just pick it up with one hand. I have walked around with it and taken it to band practice. It isn't something I'd want to carry a very long way. It weighs about the same as my Fender Princeton Reverb reissue, and it's slightly larger. If you've picked up a deluxe reverb, this weighs less than a deluxe reverb. I certainly would not want to carry a deluxe reverb around anywhere, and of course anything bigger is ridiculous. The other interesting thing, when I was choosing this amp, I suppose you're all, if you were looking at choosing one, the sort of things that come up are things like a Carl Rambler, a Red Plate, Two Rock Studio Pro Plus. I'm sure I'll think of some others. The Red Plate by far weighs a ton more than this, although physically it's a little bit smaller, I think. Several of the other amps that I tried were very, very heavy, and even just carrying it around the house becomes a problem for me. I'm not disabled or anything, I just don't like things that are unnecessarily heavy.